Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Today, we're going to take a look at words and phrases to avoid in business English and what to say instead. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a little bit of a quiz and have you identify which words to avoid and which words to use instead. So by the end of the video, you'll be able to really check and master your learning there. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Melissa B. Duarte. I'm the author of the Global Business English Mastery Series. Okay, let's jump right in. Okay, let's get started. Number one, stuff and things. Stuff and things is a golden word in English. If you forget the word for something, you can say stuff and things. But in business English, it's too vague. Vague just means this is not saying anything. There's not enough detail to it. So you want to avoid saying, we need to talk about some stuff. No, tell them what you need to talk about. We need to talk about the project timeline, not some stuff. So replace stuff and things with the specific figures, the details, the reports, the deadlines, the tasks. I'm going to be leaving the office a bit late today. I have some things to do. I have some tasks to finish. I have some emails to send off. I have some reports to finalize. So, again, it's okay to use this a little bit. Things is a bit more professional than stuff. Don't overdo it. I would really avoid using stuff and things like in your daily business English. It just means you're not using the word. You're being a little vague. Maybe you're being lazy with your speech, so it's not overly professional. Okay, next one is you want to avoid saying maybe, I think, I guess. This makes you sound a little uncertain. And of course, in business English, you want to sound competent. You want to sound certain. You want to sound professional. So you want to avoid saying, maybe we can finish this by Friday. Instead, we should be able to finish this by Friday. So your manager comes to you and asks about your team finalizing a project. And instead of saying, maybe we can finish it by Friday, you can say, we should be able to finish it by Friday. It means the same thing. We should be able to means hopefully we can. Maybe we will be able to. It means the same thing, but instead of saying maybe we can, just say we should be able to finish it by Friday. It's a lot more confident, it's a lot more precise. We should be able to, meaning probably, or maybe we should be able to do it. So again, if someone invites you to a staff get together on the weekend, we'd like to come to the staff get together. We're all going to play golf together. Oh, maybe I can. I think I can. I guess I can. No, say, I should be able to. I should be able to come. I should be able to join you guys. Just makes that much more professional, saying I should be able to, or we should be able to. These next words might surprise you. These next words really might surprise you. You want to avoid saying obviously or clearly too much, depending on the situation or who you're speaking with. Because by saying obviously or clearly, it can sound really condescending. And condescending means you're talking down to people. It means you think you're better than them. What they're saying is stupid, or you don't value their input or their opinion, or you just think you're better than them. So be very careful with this one. So you want to avoid saying, obviously, this strategy will work better, right? So you're having a meeting talking about different strategies, and someone says, this is a good strategy. And you go, obviously, this strategy will work better. Well, you can say this strategy could work better or will work better because of this. So by saying obviously, it can really sound like duh, like how do you not know that? So it's a little condescending. I try to avoid it. And even clearly also, if it's a positive sentence, you can say, clearly this is an important topic to all of our staff. We need to discuss it. That's good. That's good. That's fine. It just means it's very clear to me this is an important topic. That's okay. But if you're saying something like, clearly we need to do something about this department, it just means obviously, like, do you guys not know this? And it's a little condescending. It comes across as arrogant. You want to be careful with this. It's just better to say, I agree with you. I think this is important. This could definitely work better. This could definitely be something that's good for the department. So by using a word like could, a modal verb is very polite and it kind of softens what you're trying to say. So instead of saying, clearly we need to find a new supplier, like obviously, like, are you guys idiots? Do you not know that? It could come across that way. So we could really find a better supplier. We could really take this time to find a better supplier. Or even we should find a better supplier. it would be great if we could find a better supplier. So taking out clearly and obviously sometimes is better to do because it could come across as arrogant. Okay, next one you want to avoid is whatever or it doesn't matter. If this is difficult. These are words you hear. These are words people use, but it's not professional in business English. So if you say whatever or it doesn't matter, it could come across as very dismissive. So maybe someone brings up something they're not happy with in a meeting, and if you just say whatever, let's just move on. Like you're totally dismissive to them. Or someone says, it looks like client B is going to be paying late. It doesn't matter. They always pay late. So by saying it doesn't matter, you're just being dismissive to the point that someone brought up, and it's a little dismissive. It's quite rude. So instead of saying we're aware of that issue with the client, they're always pay late. Don't worry, we're confident they're going to pay on time. Thanks for bringing it up. So not saying doesn't matter, they always pay late. No, thanks for bringing that up. We are aware of that issue with them, but thank you for being on top of it. Thank you for acknowledging that. Thank you for knowing that. Or again, if someone says, I'm not very happy with I don't know, the coffee in the staff room. Oh, whatever, the meeting's not about this. Say, let's move forward to topics on the agenda. So by saying whatever, it's so disrespectful. It just means what you're saying is like tossed to the side. So you want to avoid saying whatever or it doesn't matter. It really does not keep the tone professional, especially when you're disagreeing with someone. It's not very good. So try to avoid saying any negative words and being dismissive. Okay, next up is cheap. And cheap just means a lower cost, but cheap is a negative word in English, and it usually means the quality is lower. And cheap always has a negative connotation to it. And we want to avoid negative words whenever possible in English. So for example, you don't want to say we need a cheap solution for our legal issues. No, we need a cost-effective solution for our legal issues. Or, your company's really great. Thank you for your service, but we need a cheaper option. No, you don't want a worse option because cheap is a negative word. You want a more cost-effective option. So this is really important to avoid. You always want to avoid negative words in business English. Don't say you have a problem. You say you have an issue, right? Or you don't say you don't like something. It's not the best. Or your performance was bad. No, your performance could be better. So you want to avoid any type of negative words in business English. Always. It keeps you professional, keeps you polite, it keeps the atmosphere positive and productive. And a happy team is making money for a company. An unhappy team is not making money for a company. And you're going to have turnover, and turnover costs a lot of money for companies. So keep it positive, keep it polite. And this is a big one, cheap. Of course, you want to save money. Everyone wants to save money, but don't say cheap too much, because cheap can mean lower quality. And again, cheap is just a negative word in English. You need something that's more cost effective. We need a cost effective solution. Okay, you want to next avoid words like fillers, and this is like. Now, I use like. I do use it as a filler. I do, but I don't overly use it as a filler. And we do have words that we put in, like. So we do have these parasite words, these words that just kind of fill in. This is normal. And if you're talking for a long period of time and you're not really composed in what you're going to say, or you're talking off the top of your head, this means you're talking spontaneously. Sometimes you have to gather your thoughts, and a word like can enter into that. So we have to be careful not to overly use these words, because it makes you sound pretty unprofessional and not as polished. Again, it's fine a little bit. Is fine a little bit. This is fine. Unless you're reading from a script. Who on earth can speak for a long period of time expressing their thoughts and opinions unless they have a script in front of them? It's very rare people can do that. Those are amazing speakers. That's not me. And I can still present myself very professionally. So we do use these words. Sometimes don't overuse them. So really tune in your ear to the words you're using and how you speak. Or when you give a presentation, when you're in a meeting, go back and listen to your part of the meeting where you contributed your thoughts and ideas, and listen if you did have those words like or quite a lot in there, and then make an effort to kind of omit them and not use them as much. So you want to avoid saying this is like a big opportunity for our company. No, this is a big opportunity for our company. Okay, so you want to just, and if you do find you want to say like, this is a big opportunity for our company, you can just pause, and that's totally fine. So if you do need that time to compose the rest of your sentence in your head and what you're going to say, instead of saying this is like a big opportunity for our company, just say this is a big opportunity for our company. This is a big opportunity for our company. I mean, it sounds better having a pause than saying like. So if you find it difficult to finish your sentence and you don't want that pause in there, a pause is always better than a like or an Okay, the next one I have is more than one word, but these are negative words. Can't, impossible, won't work. They're just limiting and they're negative. So if someone asks you for something, no, I can't. No, it's too direct, it's too negative in English. I don't have the time, I'm sorry. Or is it possible for us to get an assistant on this project? We need, more help and more hands working on this project. That's impossible. No, that's going to be hard to do. So impossible, can't, these are negative words. Or if someone brings an idea saying, listen, I have a really great idea about how to keep company B happy working with us and have them sign the contract for more years ahead. They give you the proposal. It's a bad proposal. It's not a good idea. It's a bad suggestion. Don't say that won't work. Just say, I don't think this is the best route with this client. Thanks for bringing this to my attention. Great idea. This is not going to work for this client. So this is not going to work is fine. It's much better than this won't work. Okay, so this won't work. No, this is not going to work. Just a bit more words in there, meaning this won't have a positive outcome. It's a little bit nicer to say. So for example, someone brings an idea to you and you don't like the idea. Instead of saying that won't work, you could say that could be challenging, but here's another approach. That could be challenging, but thanks for your input. So you're acknowledging, that they did bring something to you. Thank you so much, but it's not going to work. So you say, that could be challenging. I don't think that's going to work, but don't say that won't work. It's too strong. It's too negative. It closes the door to it completely. And again, someone invites you to something. Do you want to sit in on this meeting? I can't. I'm busy. And this is so dismissive. You'll probably never be invited to sit on that meeting again. So you can say, my schedule doesn't allow it right now. I'm not able to today. So just by changing the word can't to my schedule doesn't allow it, I'm not able to today, it just kind of is a little bit more polite or a lot more polite, and you're not negative. And if you do say, I can't, they probably won't invite you again to do it. So you want to avoid these negative words. Next one is a little difficult because this is kind of okay in general English. It's not great in general English, but it's very common in general English. In business English, it's not great. I mean, it's not really, really bad, but you do want to avoid saying honestly or to be honest because it implies that you're not usually honest. And of course, it doesn't mean that. I mean, people know this, but there's psychology that goes along with words. So even if people know you as being a real straight shooter, and a straight shooter is someone who's very honest and very direct and transparent. It's good to be a straight shooter. If people know you as being an honest person, fine. Like it doesn't mean you're dishonest in the past, but the word honestly or to be honest, it just goes along with a little bit of suspicion. So in business English, you want to avoid it as much as you can. Really just take it out, or if you do need to put in an adverb there, I'd say truly, and truly works. So if you're in a meeting with someone brings an idea to you and you say, honestly, I don't think this is a good idea. And by saying honestly, it just means that were you not honest last time you said something was a good idea? I'm a little confused. So just kind of by avoiding honestly, that's a much better. You could say, you know what, I'm not sure this is the best idea for us. So you could avoid it altogether, or say truly, I don't think this is a good idea, meaning in all truth. And that's at least a positive word, truly. Another way you can say this is if someone says, honestly, I don't think this is a good idea, you could say, from my point of view, I don't think this is the best way to go. So then you can just say, from my point of view, or the way I see it, I don't think this is a good idea. So the way I see it means from my perspective, in my opinion, but you're not saying honestly. And again, if you do want to use an adverb, you can go ahead and use truly there. You want to be direct, you want to be honest, you want to be communicative, but by using a word like honestly and to be honest, it just adds a little seed of what were you not honest last time? I'm not so sure about that. So, okay, this next one you can use in some situations, and you probably shouldn't use it and you should avoid it in other situations. It's just. It's just. So, you want to add just if you want to stress that you don't need a lot of someone's time, or something is not of high importance. And that's when you use just. So, just a quick question, meaning, I just have a small question, can I ask it? Or I just wanted to follow up on this, meaning I just want a quick follow up. It's not that important. Now, in that same context, if that question you're asking is actually quite important and you do need to ask a long question and discuss something deeply, don't use just. And if you're saying, I'm checking in on where you're at with the progress on this project, if you say, I'm just checking in, then you're minimizing the importance of your check in. So here, just is totally fine. Use just when something is short. It's not that important. That's it. You don't use just and avoid just when something is not going to be short. It will take a longer period of time, or it is important. Is important. So by using just, you bring down the importance of something and you bring down the amount of time something needs. So sometimes you need to say, oh, this is going to be quick. Use just. Sometimes something is not going to be quick. Something's very important. So don't use just, because in the person who you're speaking with, they're going to think it's not as important, or it's going to be quicker. So they may be frustrated if that conversation goes longer. If you say, oh, just a quick question, and that question ends up being 10 minutes long and it's a long discussion, they're going to be frustrated by you. You should not have used just. But if it's just a quick question, it's a yes or no answer, great, you've used it perfectly. And again, just want to follow up on this. If your follow-up is incredibly important and you need to actually have them getting back to you on something important, don't say just. I want to follow up on this, or I wanted to follow up on this. Take out just. It means this is important. If and they will get back to you because you're saying it's important. If you say, I just want to follow up on this, they're like, oh, that's not priority, and it will go down in priority. So be very careful where you use just. The next one here is ASAP. We all use ASAP. We all hear ASAP, but you want to avoid using it if you need something at a certain time. ASAP is just too vague. So if you need the report done ASAP, well, ASAP to me could be 1 hour. ASAP to the person you're speaking with could be 3 hours. So if something's important, don't say ASAP. Just say, we need it by Friday. We need it before 3 o'clock. And people appreciate not being vague. So ASAP, if you're asking someone for something, give them a clear deadline. ASAP is not clear. It's just too vague. Now, if you're working together with people, let's start on this ASAP. As in us together, this is totally fine. Let's start on this ASAP, which means let's start on this now. And this is fine, but you're not asking someone for something. So when you're asking someone for something, you want to say, I need this Friday at 3 o'clock, not ASAP, because that doesn't mean anything. It's too vague. Now, ASAP is very interesting because you can say ASAP, you can say ASAP, and you can say as soon as possible. And they all have different tonality and they have different urgency as well. So if something is incredibly urgent and you need to state how urgent this matter is, then you say ASAP. This is very direct. It's incredibly strong. We need this done ASAP. Great. Now, a little bit less urgent, a little bit less direct, a little bit less formal, and a little bit more polite. We need this ASAP. And so ASAP is a little bit softer. So again, ASAP is very strong, very direct, very urgent. A little bit less than that is ASAP. We need this done ASAP. Let's get started ASAP. Can you do that for me ASAP? And again, if you want a deadline, if you want it by 3 o'clock, just say, can you do it for me by 4 o'clock? If you need a timeline, if it is that urgent. And then the lowest is actually the full phrase, as soon as possible. And this is the most polite, the most friendly, the least direct, and the least strict. So you can say, let's get started on this as soon as possible. And this means kind of when it's possible. It almost means there's no rush. It's really interesting. As soon as possible, when it's contracted to ASAP, when it's in an acronym, or when it's ASAP, this is a lot more urgent than the whole long word. So if you do need to say, this is very important, this has to be priority, let's work on this right away, then you can say as soon as possible. And that is the least urgent when you say the entire phrase. And it's also very polite and the tone is very nice. Okay, the very last one is swear words. These are 4-letter words, bad words, and you want to avoid using them in business English. The only reason is, even if you work for a young, modern team, still you never know who's listening. You never know who's going to read your messages. You never know who's around. You never know people's level of comfort when it comes to swear words. So I try to avoid it as much as possible, unless you're really close with some of your colleagues or you're very friendly with them, but you never know who's listening. And it's just good to avoid these as much as possible in the workplace, in the business environment. There's really no place for swear words in the work environment. Of course, you guys watch movies and you hear people get angry and they say bad words, swear words. And this does happen. But to be professional in business English, you want to avoid these words as much as possible. So I'm going to give you some synonyms here. Because I am professional, I can't swear in my videos. I'm not going to do it. So instead of, maybe if you're frustrated or angry, instead of saying this is effing annoying, I'm not going to say the word, this is effing annoying, you can say this is really frustrating, this is driving me crazy, this is unacceptable. So that's, use a strong adjective or an idiom, driving me up the wall, driving me crazy, this is really frustrating, this is unacceptable, is so much better than saying this is effing annoying. Okay, next one is when something surprises you, you say holy S. Holy S. And I'm not going to say the word. I'm professional and my videos are professional. I don't want to say the word, but you can, if you're surprised, like, whoo, holy, whoo, and you can say, woof, that was unexpected. That's incredible. I can't believe it. What? And that's a nice way of saying holy S without actually swearing. Now, when it comes to swear words, the S word is not as bad as the F word. So if you do feel you need to swear, the S word is not as bad. One place we do use the S word is when someone is incredible or a product is incredible. You can call that person the shit, and you can call that product the shit, and it means incredible. And if you say shit without the article, it means horrible. So for example, this new pen we got for the office is shit. It means it's horrible. This new pen for the office is the shit. It's the best pen I've ever used. That programmer we have is the shit. He's incredible. That programmer we have is shit. He's horrible. So if you do use this, be very careful to make sure you know if you need the article, it's positive. If you use the article, it's positive. If you don't have the article, it's negative. That's a really important one. But again, I would try to avoid using a swear word in business English. For emphasis, we do use it also. So if you're saying to someone, this is effing important, this is not right. This is totally not professional. Again, you want to avoid the F word most in business English. So this is absolutely essential. This is critical. This is top priority. You don't want to say effing important. Now, another way to say disappointment or failure is we're screwed or you're screwed. And this is not so much a swear word, but still it's pretty informal for a lot of business settings. And it kind of does fall on the border. It's a gray area of a swear word. So if you made a big mistake, you can say, oh, I'm screwed. I'm going to lose the contract. Careful who's hearing you. This is not professional language. So just say, oh, I'm in a difficult position. This is going to be a major challenge. I'm in a lot of trouble. This is a huge setback. So try to avoid using this word as well. And a little safer words you can have for everyday frustration. You spill your coffee on your computer. That probably will be a swear word. That's a big deal. But you could say, shoot. Shoot is a synonym for the S word. Darn, damn, darn is nicer than damn. You could say damn, and damn is okay. Damn is still a swear word, but it's kind of acceptable. It's probably the safest swear word out there, damn. If you don't want to say it, you say darn. Or you say, oh man. And oh man means that as well. Just like, oh wow, or a bad situation I'm in. Or what a mess. Or this is driving me up the wall. These are all really great. So you want to make sure you avoid using swear words. Try to keep your tone professional with anyone you're working with. People are just going to enjoy work with you more. Okay, as promised, a little quiz for you here at the end to make sure you know which words you should avoid using in business English and which words you could use instead. First one here is we need to talk about some stuff. We need to talk about some stuff. What's wrong with that? Well, you don't want to say stuff and things. It's too vague. Just tell them what you need to talk about. We need to talk about the project timelines. We need to talk about the issue with the finance department. We need to talk about, I don't know, hiring someone else for the department. So replace stuff and things with the actual thing you're talking about. Don't be vague in business English. It wastes people's time. Be very direct. Next one, maybe we can finish by Friday. Maybe we can finish by Friday. So instead of saying maybe, you say we should be able to finish by Friday. So maybe it's just too uncertain. So we should be able to finish by Friday. It's a lot more professional. Next one, obviously this strategy will work better. Obviously, this strategy will work better. Remember, it's a little arrogant saying obviously. So the strategy could work better because, and then tell them why. Or yes, this strategy could work better. I agree this strategy could work better. Take out obviously or clearly. It can come across as condescending, as if you're speaking down to the person. Next one, whatever, let's just move on. Whatever, let's just move on. Well, no. You can say, let's move forward to the next point. So whatever is very dismissive. If someone brings up an issue and you don't think it's a big deal, you're thinking whatever, don't say whatever. Just say, okay, let's move forward to the next point. And that's much better. We need a cheap solution. We need a cheap solution. Remember, cheap is negative. So you want to say we need a cost-effective solution. We need a cost-effective solution. Next one, this is like a big opportunity for our company. This is like a big opportunity for our company. So you want to avoid saying like, either avoid it, or if you can't avoid it, put in a pause. So this is a great opportunity for our company. This is a great opportunity for our company. So even if there's a pause in there, the pause is still better than like. Next one, this idea won't work. This idea won't work. So this idea could be challenging. This idea could be difficult. So, or this idea is not going to work. And that's a little bit better. Next one, honestly, I don't think this is a good idea. Honestly, I don't think this is a good idea. So better just say, I don't think this is a good idea. Or truly, I don't think this is a good idea. Take out honestly. Next one, I just wanted to check in. I just wanted to check in. So again, this is okay if it's really, really short. But if you do need to check in on something important, just say, I wanted to check in on this. I wanted to follow up on this. Okay, next one, please send it ASAP. Please send it ASAP. No, if you need something as soon as possible, you tell them when you need it by. ASAP is far too vague if you're demanding something or asking something of someone. If you're saying again as a group, let's get working on this ASAP, that's different. This just means right now. But if you need something from someone, give them a clear deadline. So don't say, please send it ASAP. Say, please send it by 3 p.m. today. There you go. I hope you found this video very useful and helpful. Please, if you did, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like the video. It helps me grow on YouTube. And let me know in the comments other areas of business English you'd like me to cover in a video. Thank you so much for watching.